GMQC Sunday continues.
Welcome back on this Sunday morning. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Well, today is definitely the weekend winner, but we have even better temperatures on the way, right, Morgan?
Oh yeah, I am really looking forward to this week. It is definitely going to be a little bit of a spring tease for us, but hey, meteorological spring starts on Tuesday and we're definitely going to feel it. Temperatures yesterday were in the mid to upper 30s. This afternoon will be a little bit warmer than that, a little more seasonal too. Lows weren't even that bad either. We were only in the mid 20s and we're likely going to see similar conditions going into tonight. There's a look at satellite, starting to get a look at where that snowpack is, and if I'm not being joked, it looks like a lot of it melted yesterday. I'm kind of waiting for a little more sun to reflect off, but maybe our southern hometowns got rid of a lot of snow yesterday, and a lot of us are probably going to see even more of it disappear in the days ahead. Right now in the Quad Cities, 25 degrees in Davenport, 28 in Moline. It feels like the teens and 20s out there with a little bit of movement in the air. Shouldn't be as windy as yesterday, but still enough for a wind chill value. We'll hang out in the mid 30s for those feels like temperatures this afternoon. But again, we are on the up and up. Temperatures are heading to the 50s for quite a few days in the week ahead, and we might even approach 60 a few times. We'll talk about that with the help of your 8-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. David?
We are looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Morgan. Now to the latest on Russia's war in Ukraine. Russian troops continue to advance, and U.S. officials say it's Russia's goal to get the country to surrender. This comes as the White House announces the latest sanctions against Russia. ABC's M. Wen has more now from Washington.
More assaults in Ukraine as families remain under a wartime curfew. U.S. defense officials say Russian leader Vladimir Putin's military forces are about 20 miles outside Kyiv. Despite calls for Ukrainian President Zelensky to leave, he's chosen to stay in the heart of the capital, saying, "We know we are defending our country, our land, our children's futures." Volunteers taking up arms to fight against Russian troops after the Ukrainian military relaxed restrictions on who can join the fight. The White House announcing new sanctions against Russia, the U.S. joining the European Commission, France, Germany, Italy, the United Kingdom, and Canada in banning some Russian banks from the SWIFT global payments network. The U.S. also providing military equipment to Ukraine, as well as troops posted just outside the border to help with the ongoing surge in traffic. The UN estimates more than 150,000 civilians have fled to neighboring countries.
My husband and I, we actually looked at a map and we were trying to figure out the best way for me and my child to travel if I had to flee.
In Hungary, this emotional reunion after a Ukrainian mother brought a stranger's children to safety.
A senior administration official tells us with all of this week's sanctions, Putin's claim that sanctions will not affect Russia's economy is just a myth. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
And Wen, thank you. And Russian missiles struck an oil terminal overnight in Ukraine, causing this massive blaze. Take a look at this. The oil depot is about 18 miles away from the capital of Ukraine, which is Kyiv. The Guardian is reporting this morning that an advisor to the Ministry of Internal Affairs said first responders are already away from the scene right now. They aren't expecting any casualties, thankfully, but went on to say that this is going to be burning for a long time, and the environmental damage will be, quote, colossal. And this morning, Ukrainians began preparing Molotov cocktails in Kyiv as fears of a Ukrainian intrusion in the city continues to grow. Officials maintained a 39-hour curfew to keep people off the capital's streets until tomorrow. That's complicating the task of assessing the intensity of the fighting. Ukraine's President Zelensky said explosions were reported at Kyiv International Airport. And this morning, a children's hospital in Ukraine's second largest city of Kharkiv has moved into a bomb shelter just with the basic materials. Having to move the shelter to the shelter with sick children shortly after the start of the Russian invasion, parents are trying to get their little ones to ease as much as they can. Until today, Russian troops had remained on the outskirts of Kharkiv, which is a city of 1.4 million people and is about 12 miles south of the border with Russia. Meanwhile, Niagara Falls was illuminated in blue and yellow in solidarity with Ukraine overnight. The tourist attraction that straddles the U.S.-Canada border is one of several landmarks around the world lit up in blue and yellow colors of the Ukrainian flag as a sign of unity and support of the Ukrainian people. The situation in Ukraine is developing hour by hour. To get the latest updates of what's happening on the ground, visit WQAD.com. But right now, we do want to get to a few local headlines now. A man and woman were killed in an early morning crash on I-74. It was around 6:30 yesterday morning in Bettendorf. Police say the vehicle was heading north and then went off the road and hit a ditch. A 37-year-old woman of Bettendorf and a 28-year-old man of Davenport were thrown from the vehicle where they died. Their names are not being released pending family notification. Illinois' school mask mandate will be lifted tomorrow. Governor J.B. Pritzker made that announcement. It comes after the state Supreme Court denied the governor's appeal of a lower court's ruling that said that his mask mandate was subject to debate. Governor Pritzker says the state will continue to recommend that all schools follow CDC guidance. And a reminder that masks will no longer be mandated by the state of Illinois indoors starting tomorrow. Governor Pritzker made that announcement earlier this month. Masks will no longer be required in grocery stores, restaurants, or other indoor places tomorrow. However, there are still going to be required on public transit and in hospitals, as that's covered under the federal mask mandate. And also keep in mind, even though the state is lifting the indoor mask mandate, individual businesses and organizations may still require them. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds is set to hit the national stage Tuesday, giving the Republican response to President Joe Biden's State of the Union address. The State of the Union is set for March 1st, again, that's Tuesday. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell praised Governor Reynolds for fighting COVID-19 without, and I'm quoting now, forgetting common sense. The last time Iowa was seen in the spotlight this way was when U.S. Senator Joni Ernst gave the Republicans' response to President Barack Obama's State of the Union address in 2015. The time right now is 8:36 on your Sunday morning. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Still ahead, the 2022 Jefferson Awards. Meet the man who's multiplying good in the community with above-average barbecue. That's still ahead.
And you have heard the saying, March coming in like a lion and out like a lamb. Well, we're going to talk about why March is coming in a little more like a lamb. Your accurate forecast is coming up right after the break.
You're watching GMQC.